I have my friends here, Emily and Brian, and I am Fiona, host of this channel. If you don't know, you should, because my name's on it. But I'm Fiona, and I have my friends here, and we're going to do a little video today about Disneyland Paris. Emily and Brian had the fortunate visit there a couple of weeks ago.
We did.
Yes.
So they did a little content for me, and we're going to put it all together. So would you like to tell us a little bit about what you're doing here today with me?
Okay, well, I'm Emily. This is Brian. As I said, we were in Disneyland Paris for 3 full days.
Amazing.
2 weeks ago. So yeah, so Fiona set us a few challenges to do and try and find some things and take some photos and do lots of things like that. And yeah, we did all that as well as just seeing the park.
But it's not just a normal park view. In theory, we also have been to Disney before, and this time we're going where somebody is pregnant. So it's slightly different to your normal trip because in theory, if you were just going on a normal average day, you're waiting in the normal queues, everybody's going for all the different roller coasters and rides. But if you have some sort of a condition that may not allow you to
of
go
a
on
certain
these.
condition.
I was like, wow, thanks.
But it's the whole thing, what do you do in the park when you're not able to go on all the roller coasters?
That's a better way to put it.
I mean, there could be something more than just pregnancy that you'd have a
Just so
reason.
you know, Brian and Emily are married.
You were married, yeah.
They are the parents of said condition. So this isn't Brian just being weird.
No, not just being weird. But yes, so no, it was seeing Disney Paris from a different side, because I was like, I've been to Disney Paris a few times and normally I'm just running around trying to get on every single ride I can. But this time I was like, I wasn't allowed on a lot of them, so it was trying to see the different sides of Disney, which was really enjoyable.
To use that to our advantage.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's things you can do to maximize your time. Yeah.
Yeah, so like obviously there's so many different parts to a Disney park that there's, you know, the rides obviously are a huge factor, but there's fantastic food, there's the amazing detail in the Imagineering, which is the word used for the design and the construction. There's different entertainment options, there's so many things you can do that aren't rides. So I gave them kind of almost like a bit of a scavenger hunt type list of things that they could explore. So let's see how you got on.
Fantastic.
We are actually rolling. So
are we?
I'm gonna say
fun
this
fact.
to the camera. Fun fact, Imagineering fact. In Tower of Terror, do you know what cobwebs are made out of? I think we might have talked about this actually.
I think we did.
I think we did. They're made out of hot glue.
Yeah.
Are they?
So what, you know, have you ever used a hot glue gun?
Yes.
So you know the way you get that like silly little trail?
Yeah, at the end, yeah.
So they just get a bunch of that, string it around the place, and then because it's sticky, it attracts the dust.
Fabulous.
Happy days.
Aren't
Fun
they
fact.
so amazing? I love Imagineers.
Wonderful.
So anyway, okay, let's dive right in. So I gave my lovely friends Emily and Brian a list of 14 things to do. So first thing you can do in Disneyland Paris, underneath the castle, it's the only castle that has this around the world. You can go down underneath the castle and meet a dragon. If you don't know, the castle in Disneyland Paris is themed for Sleeping Beauty. So the dragon in theory is Maleficent being kept under the castle.
I'm going to jump in here.
Yeah?
And I was wondering, is it the dragon from the film The Black Cauldron?
Oh, well, that's a very interesting take, but I do believe it's not.
Okay.
I don't know that it's specifically like said that it is Maleficent, but I think it's tied into
Sleeping
that
Beauty's
theming.
castle, yeah.
Okay.
But I like where your head is going with the obscurity.
Are all the different castles in the different Disney parks for the different princesses?
No, they're usually just either Sleeping Beauty or Cinderella.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So Cinderella is Florida. California and Paris are Sleeping Beauty. And then I actually can't comment on the Asian parks.
Remember, we've been to Disney Tokyo, but I cannot remember which princess castle it was. I was probably
The
running
Tokyo
around.
one is pretty much a carbon copy of the Florida one.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna say Cinderella.
It's probably Cinderella, yeah. I think I would have remembered if it was Sleeping Beauty, but maybe again.
Oh, actually, as well, another fun fact I have about the castle in Paris, which you might know from the Imagineering or the behind the attraction, is it's pink because France's weather is a bit hit and miss. So pink will always look well in the photos, regardless of if the sky is being a bit stroppy and grey.
Did not know that.
Yeah, and
does
also
look good.
it's supposed to look a little bit weird and different because Europeans are so used to castles because, you know, Europe's a very old place full of castles.
It
so
is.
we're all quite used to seeing them. We're not quite as wowed. So it's pink and it's got all the swirliness on it, and it's like built into the mountain and everything to kind of give that extra wow factor.
There you go.
I love that I get to spout all of this stuff that I've saved in my brain that nobody ever asks me about. So tell us about the dragon.
So we did. We were trying to. It took us a while to figure out where it was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, we've been there multiple times. But we didn't go straight away. So we were actually coming from the back of the castle.
Okay.
So I couldn't remember the entrance of where to find it.
You kind of have to go back all the
You
way
have to
down
go
the ramp
back onto the ramp.
don't
Yeah,
you?
so we eventually just came back to the front of the castle and then went around the side of the ramp. So if you're looking at the castle, it's to the left.
Yeah. You can actually spot it in some photos as
Yes,
well.
yeah, there's a sign you
Yeah.
can kind of see. So if you're in front of the castle, to the left, you follow around and you go underneath. But yeah, so the dragon is down there, and then every about 2 or 3 minutes, they wake up and they interact with you, which is kind of cool. So
It's an animatronic then, right?
it
under the
is,
castle.
yes, and that every couple of minutes it pops its head up and makes noise and roars and stuff like that, and then it goes back down to sleep. So
Did it breathe fire?
no,
Okay.
no,
It
It's-
definitely lights up.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's not like actual.
it's not actual fire. Yeah, because there's nobody
Maybe it
really
smokes.
down there, so I wouldn't
Sure.
say safety-wise you're allowed to have fire, but there's definitely smoke and like it
Effects
pops
and
up and
everything,
X, so
yeah.
it's very
Yeah,
cool
so-
because if you come down and dragon's asleep, you just kind of see it there and all of a sudden it just pops up, which is very cool.
Oh,
So, yeah.
that is fun. Is she chained up by any chance? Is that like, is she kind of a prisoner?
I couldn't even see.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
very
That was
dark
that
in
dark,
there.
was that?
Right. Okay.
I
Okay.
don't know. She possibly is. I don't know. That's one thing I've never checked. So
Yeah. So I'd be curious kind of about the backstory of that. Is it
Yeah.
that she's being
chained
held?
in there?
Well, I was going to say that kind of led us that if you were to follow the staircase up internally within the cave,
That's-
it
Oh,
also
yes.
leads
Go
up
on
into
to
one
the
of the
next
other
one.
challenges.
Okay, well let's
which-
jump right into that then.
So it's not the next one on our list, but one of our challenges was go find the glassmakers. So yes, if you go up the stairs from the basement, you end up in the shop where the glassmakers are. So yes,
Really good.
very, very cool.
And they're working on it.
All the time. There's
Real time.
always somebody, possibly 2 of them, working away, making glass wands, figurines, Christmas ornaments. It's
Oh,
very,
wow.
very cool.
Can you buy them there, or do they just send them onto shops? Then?
No, you can
No,
buy
I
them
think
there.
you buy
So
them
if you like, there's ones already made, but if you want something specific, like a different color in them,
Oh
you can
my
come back and collect it later.
that's so
But yeah, it's very, very cool.
What's the kind of price range on them?
Oh,
Were you able to?
I think the wands range from about 70 up to 120,
Oh,
so they weren't
that's not that bad,
insane.
yeah.
Again, I think that was like what
But
it
they had
was.
tiaras.
Tiaras, yeah.
Ooh.
I didn't see the price of those.
I think they went from €20 up to about €75.
yeah, obviously depending on versus, do you want the more
not-
glass elements, less just wire.
It's not actual
Yeah.
elements.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not
So
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
a wire shape where they
Yes.
just add on.
Yeah, obviously the higher end ones had more of the glass elements
yeah.
to it.
Okay,
but-
it was like a fully glass tiara for
No,
€20.
And then they're probably they may have been more expensive all glass tiaras.
Yeah.
But there was also glass slippers. There was
Yeah.
Christmas
Oh my
decorations.
And the Christmas decorations were reasonable enough. Like they ranged
Yeah.
probably from like 15 to 25 euros. So like,
Nice.
and they were really nice. And you could also get stuff engraved on them. Because like the
Aw.
glass ornaments, you can get whatever you want engraved on them. Well, not whatever you want. There's certain restrictions.
Well, I mean, yeah.
They won't let you put Disneyland written on it. So
Okay.
but
Okay.
that makes sense. That So.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen that. Like, actually, to be honest, a lot of the stuff I gave you to do are things I haven't even done
Okay.
myself. So I'm getting a lot of the nice surprise out of this as well.
There you go. If you're not from the outside the castle, you can go through the shop, down the steps into the basement to
Did
see the
you
dragon.
go up into the castle to see the stained glass?
I did,
Yeah,
yes.
it's so
Brian
cool.
and our friend Michelle who's with us, they went on one of the roller coasters I couldn't go on, so I went
Okay.
up and walked around and saw the stained glasses.
Beautiful.
Oh, and actually might lead us on to the next one then.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was up in the castle. So another one was what is it? Find the golden snails. So this one I had a feeling I knew where it was, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Okay.
So yes, as I said, I went up the top of the castle and you walk around and see all the stained glass, and then you go outside onto the balcony. And I looked around and looked at one of the turrets, and yes, the little gold blobs on the turrets are actually snails.
Snails.
So yes.
Well,
Because of France.
is it just because it's
It's
French?
just because it's French. Yeah.
Yeah.
escargot.
There you
That's
go.
the entire
So,
reason, yeah.
all
Yeah.
the little turrets on the castle are snails.
It's actually stunning. It
is
sounds
gorgeous.
ridiculous, but
Yeah.
it's stunning. Such a pretty castle, it really is.
It really is. It's a very, very pretty castle.
Oh, and actually it's situated, another castle fact. It's situated so that you always get the good light for your photos.
Ah.
I think, is it maybe facing
South.
south? Yeah. So yeah, you were talking about stained glass there. So when you go up into the higher levels of the castle, there's actually stained glass depictions of the story of Sleeping Beauty.
Very pretty.
And it's really, really nice.
Really, really pretty.
And it's a great way to sort of just duck out of the
Yes.
mayhem as well, if you feel like you need a little break.
It's never that busy up there.
Yeah,
It
or
isn't.
even weather if you're trying to get out of rain.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's such a lovely little spot, and yeah, you can just go up and take
It's
in
really
the
nice, really
beautiful
nice.
artistry of it. And there are so many beautiful details in the parks
So many.
that I feel like they just don't get enough.
No, because I think you miss
Recognition.
them so much because
Yeah, you're like, oh, Space Mountain.
Space Mountain, I gotta go and gotta get
Yeah.
on my time for this ride and gotta go here and gotta wait in the queues for that. So
Yeah,
you
oh,
actually,
there goes Mickey Mouse. Hi.
yeah, run after him, you know.
Yeah.
So if you actually take the time to step back and look at
Yeah.
all the artistry they
It's
have in the parks,
incredible.
they're
And you think
beautiful.
about the amount of like the man hours that went into it,
Oh,
and
yeah. For tiny, tiny
Oh,
details.
it's so stunning. I can't remember which one it was. I remember seeing in one of the behind the scenes documentaries or whatever about either stained glass or murals or something, but just how much they were even going through the different colored tiles. They had to be like, no, this one's just wrong. We need, no, that
Wow.
one's wrong. Like the time that would take to just filter through, just to look for that one perfect piece, so that the whole thing looks incredible. It's just like testament to Imagineering.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are going to move on to, they had 3 food challenges to
Oh,
do.
we did, yes, we did.
So, first one I gave them was a randomizer challenge. So, they had to find a food that was
Breakable.
And
breakable and pure white. So,
Yes.
I put them on a randomizer on the internet to find some adjectives. So, pure white and breakable were what we got. So,
this
tell
was
us.
Really hard.
This was really, really hard. Really, really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, you know, finding a food that's pure white is not easy. And
I think
breakable.
Brian would disagree with you.
Breakable was easy, but it was the combo of both, and
Yeah.
then trying to find something in the parks as well. So we had 2 attempts, both probably not the best, but look, we tried. We
You
tried.
definitely got like one thing for one and one thing for the other.
Yes.
So, like,
Okay.
yeah. So
I'll start with Brian. Brian did the first attempt.
So I thought something that's pure white is a marshmallow, and then marshmallows covered in chocolate. And I could have gone with white chocolate, but if the pure white was the marshmallow, not chocolate, because white chocolate, it's more of a kind of a cream color. So breakable was the chocolate, and I went for the marshmallows covered in chocolate. Okay, so my challenge was randomizer foods. It ended up white, and it was a pure white and breakable. So we kind of figured out white marshmallow and breakable chocolate. So I don't know if the first one's going to be white, but we'll see what happens. It's pink, but I'll eventually get to a white one. And then Emily had her attempt.
So I had a white
Macaron.
Macaron. Sorry, I tend to pronounce that wrong a lot. So
Macaroon is the coconut one.
Yes.
I think I've even talked about this
Yeah.
on a video before.
And I
actually,
know
'cause it's
that.
one of my pet peeves.
I know, and I know that, but I'm just really bad. My brain doesn't seem to
No,
remember.
you're fine.
Anyway,
I mean,
so
you're growing.
yeah,
as a
yeah,
person.
baby brain.
So.
So yeah, I got a white one. So that wasn't quite pure white. It was probably more cream, and I had because it was vanilla, so it had little black flecks of probably vanilla.
Yeah, that's
You know,
fine.
vanilla bean in there.
Yeah.
But and that was obviously breakable because when I
Very
tasted it,
breakable. Very breakable macarons.
When I ate it was breakable. Sorry about that.
I broke it with my face.
I did break it with my face. So yes, that was our 2 attempts at our randomizer food challenge. Okay, this is the second attempt at the food randomizer challenge. So we have a white macaroon. So you know that's white and breakable.
And how's it taste?
Very tasty. It's vanilla flavour. We got it from this little kiosk over beside Chez Remy.
Chez Remy. They got all the finest foods of France. Chocolat, des crêpes, et toutes les choses. Magnifique.
How did you find them? Was the chocolate covered marshmallow nice or was it gross? Because I feel like chocolate covered marshmallows are gross.
Well, I like marshmallows and I like chocolate. So for me, one of the reasons I was going like, this is a really tasty treat.
Yes.
And they give you, is it 4 or 5 marshmallows?
5 marshmallows, yeah.
And to me, that's probably about enough of what you'd want.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
what-
plenty. Yeah. And was it expensive actually? How much did you pay for it? Do you remember?
I'm trying to remember. Was it like €4 or €5?
€4 for the marshmallows.
For the marshmallows. And then the macarons, they were like 3 for €5.
5 or 7 or something.
Maybe 7. Maybe
So
seven.
yeah, I think it was so I got 3 different ones. One of them was the white one, but I got 2 other flavors. So that was decent. They were really tasty because, like, again, French, they do good.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And we got both those things in the little kiosk that is across from Chez Remy in that area in the Walt Disney Studios Park.
Amazing.
So yeah, and there's loads of other little food places around there as well. You can get like crepes and you can get
yummy.
mulled wine. You can get lots. I know, and like other foods as well.
Poor thing in your condition.
In my condition, I couldn't have any mulled wine, but look, I ate all the sweets instead. So there you go.
I'd imagine there's a winter menu and a summer menu.
Oh, probably,
Probably,
yeah.
yes.
They probably don't have mulled wine all the time. But,
No, I'd say in the kind of January time.
I certainly drink enough of it to last me a lifetime in December
yes.
anyway. The other one you had, which everybody has to do when you go to a Disney park, is to eat something Mickey shaped.
Oh, well.
Don't make it naughty.
No.
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey
Eat
Mouse
something
shaped.
Mickey Mouse shaped.
Well, this we had multiple
Choices.
choices for this
Everywhere.
because it's absolutely everywhere. So, but the one we went with was the classic Mickey waffle. So
Very nice.
we had a Disney breakfast. So we decided we were at the Disney breakfast, you kind of can't have breakfast without having
Without a Mickey waffle.
a Mickey
You gotta have
waffle,
a Mickey waffle.
covered in a little bit of maple syrup. Very, very tasty.
Yum.
So you
Yes.
know, I can't describing how it tastes like a waffle.
Yeah. It's not like they're any particular
No.
amazing food,
No.
but there's just something so
but
great
it's,
about it.
It is. It's just
You turn
looking
it
at
into
it.
a Mickey Mouse shape and it's
Yeah,
instantly
it's
better.
just instantly better. So that was really good.
And I went for a beignet.
Yes.
There's a Mickey
Oh,
Mouse
you got a
beignets
Mickey
on the main street of Disney.
Yes,
Ooh,
when you're walking
very
down
nice.
the main street towards the castle, it's on the right. There's a little
There's a
Brilliant.
a bakery on the right.
kiosk that does them. So
Amazing.
I also had one, but you know.
Well, tell me about them. Were they delicious?
I found them very nice. Yes, they had. I got one and had chocolate in the middle. So so the ears didn't have chocolate, but the main
Yeah.
part of it had chocolate, which was really good. So
Very nice.
you could donut-like, but not quite a donut. It was a little bit lighter, but yeah.
Kind of like brioche almost, isn't it?
Slightly, yeah, like a brioche. So it was kind of in between a donut and a brioche. So I was really
I feel like
enjoying
they
it.
haven't really made their way to Ireland yet.
No,
No.
not yet.
They're really not widely
Yeah.
accessible.
And one other just thing, I had a Mickey Mouse cookie,
Ooh.
which was very nice. It was kind of like a chocolate chip shortbread cookie.
Yum.
And like half dipped with chocolate, so the ears and the top
I know,
are
right?
covered in chocolate.
Yeah.
And there's also like praline chocolate in the middle. Yeah,
Yum.
it's huge and it's cost
I was going to say they're about the size of
it's about the size of your
own
face. They cost €5, but like it's pretty much a meal. You can
That's
be full
good
up.
for €5.
I was gonna say.
Considering, yeah, like marshmallows were €5.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So I think it's if you want something like a nice treat for €5, it's worth it. And you can buy them in the same shop as you can get the beignets, or there's also other cafes that sell them as well. So they're quite common.
Cookies are a great idea as well
Yeah.
because you can like put them away.
Yes.
You can eat one of the ears and
one
put
of
the
the
rest
ears, put
away
them
in your
in,
bag. And
I
Straight
didn't.
around as a
I'd love to
snack.
say I did, but I ate
Yeah.
the whole thing.
sometimes you just get hungry in
You
the
do.
park. Sometimes you just gotta
need
eat the
snacks.
whole
Yeah,
giant
you need
cookie.
snacks. So there you go.
So well done. That's
Thank you very
another
much. Yeah.
Challenge completed.
Okay.
And then we also had to
you
have
had to
a
eat and
character,
drink.
Eat or drink
a
for a
character that wasn't
Mickey Mouse.
Yes. Yeah.
Now-
You couldn't count your Mickey Mouse treat for this one.
This was
hard. It's a lot harder.
a
to
little
do
harder.
than
I think Disneyland Paris, they don't have as many things. I think maybe some of the American parks, they're more kind of themed.
very themed to characters.
Characters,
So, yeah,
but
this was a challenge for
This
you.
was a challenge, but we found something. So in not the main Disney park, the Walt Disney Studios park, we were in the Avengers campus, and I found a cookie the shape of Groot. So
That's so cute.
it was
It
very,
has
very
Groot's
cute.
face on it.
Very Groot's face on it. So they have 2 flavors.
Adult Groot or babe Groot?
Ooh, baby.
It looked more like it towards a
Teenage Groot?
Teenage Groot.
Teenage Groot?
We'll have
Yeah.
a photo.
Well, photos.
We'll
I
have
have
a
photos
photo
we can
in there
show.
for you, but,
So
yeah.
yes, so this was it was one of the food kiosks, the web food kiosk in
Yeah.
the Adventures campus in the Walt Disney Studios.
Yeah.
And they have 2 flavors. You can either get a strawberry one or a chocolate one. So the kind of strawberry one is kind of like a Jammy Dodger.
Oh, interesting.
And then the chocolate one is kind of like a Jammy Dodger with Nutella.
They do make those.
Oh, do they?
They
Okay.
do.
Well, there you go.
Alright,
That's what
you
it
can
was.
get those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a shortbread biscuit. So kind of like, like the Jammy Dodger type with them. So I got the chocolate one, obviously, because I love chocolate. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
you
if
got it.
you have a choice between strawberry and chocolate.
You're gonna take
you're gonna
chocolate,
take
obviously, yes.
So yes, I got that, and I think it was around €4.50. So it was
Amazing.
much smaller than the Mickey cookie. So I still think if you're for value for money, go with the Mickey
Mickey
cookie.
cookie.
But it was tasty. It was nice.
Actually, let's rank all those food things
Oh,
that you
love it.
ate.
Okay.
From, let's go your lowest to your highest rating. We'll start with you, Emily.
Okay. Oh, so what was
So you had your marshmallows, your macaron, your Groot, your Mickey, and your waffle.
and a beignet.
And your beignet.
Okay, so my lowest one, I'm probably gonna go with the. Well, I didn't have the marshmallows. That's the lowest on my list.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna go with the macaron. I think
Oh.
it was tasty, but like
Not the best you've had.
not the best I've had. Like it was good, but it wasn't the best I've had. Then I'm gonna go with my Mickey waffle because again, it's a waffle, but it's just
very
a waffle.
standard, yeah.
Then we're gonna go with the Gro Cookie.
Okay.
We're gonna go with the beignet.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go with the Mickey cookie because I really like that because it was chocolate and praline and it just chocolate chip. It was
Sounds
just
like,
it was
right up.
right up my
yeah,
street.
Yeah,
So,
same.
My rankings are a lot shorter than that because I
Oh, you didn't
eat-
try
I
them?
did not. I
Okay.
didn't try all
He
of
doesn't
them.
eat as much as me.
So I would probably go. The best was the beignet,
Okay.
followed by the waffles, followed by the marshmallows
Okay.
because I only had the 3.
Okay. Alright, you didn't share.
No, didn't share my cookie. My cookie.
Alright, your next challenge was to take a photo with a sidekick and or villain.
Well, we will go with and because we did both.
You did both.
We did
Amazing.
both.
I
Yeah.
love it.
So-
Overachievers over here.
Yeah, well, as I said, one of the benefits of, as I said, in my condition, I didn't have to wait in line, so I was able to meet a lot more characters than I normally would on
terrific.
a trip. So I was like, we got to see a lot of characters this time.
Actually, before we even get into the character specifics,
Yeah.
will you tell us about how that system works?
Oh yes, okay. So if you are pregnant in Disneyland Paris, you just go up to either City Hall on the main street, or if you're staying with Disney hotels, the concierge desk, you can go up to them, give them a doctor's note when that you are pregnant and when you're due, and you get a wristband, and it's valid for a week. They put a date on it,
Terrific.
and it just means that you get priority access, not immediate, but priority access to a lot of things. So the rides, we actually got straight onto most of the rides. We just went through the
brilliant.
priority queue or the fast access queue. For any of the characters, we went up and they gave you a time slot to come back. So they'd be like, okay, come back in 25 minutes or 1:15 or whatever time it was,
Yeah.
depending on how busy. Some of the characters are very, very,
Very,
busy.
very busy.
So you'd be like 2 hours later, come back, and I'm like, that's fine, but you got a little time slot, so you just went.
That's
And
brilliant.
as soon as you got there, you walked straight up, and
I think it's quite similar to the disability access
it is.
service.
It's very,
Do they
very,
have that there
yeah,
as well?
it's very,
Yeah,
very
so
similar to that. So
essentially, yeah, they just like it's
don't-
not that you're skipping the queue.
No.
It's just that you don't have to stand stationary in
yes,
that queue.
That's exactly what it was.
Which is obviously not suitable for a lot of different abilities and
Yeah.
disabilities and whatever, and obviously pregnancy as well.
Yeah.
So what they'll do is kind of give you almost like a fast pass, which I don't think any park even calls them fast
No,
passes
not
anymore,
anymore.
but I feel like most people know what
Yeah.
a fast pass is rather than a lightning lane. So they give you essentially like a fast pass that you can just go away and
Come back at a certain time. Yeah.
So you'll essentially have still queued, but you just didn't have to do it right
Physically
there.
in the line,
You didn't have
yeah.
to physically stand there and wear yourself
It was
out.
great. There was only two meet and greets, so Mickey Mouse and the Princess Pavilion. Both of them are obviously extremely popular,
long.
very,
I
very
was
popular.
in the
Like,
Princess queue for like 2.5 hours when I was
yeah.
there last time.
So what they do for both Mickey Mouse and the Princess Pavilion is they have a priority queue, but you still have to stand there in queue.
Okay.
So
I stood there.
but the nice thing was, yes, so when I went up, I showed them my wristband, they were like, that's fine. I was like, so I think the normal queue was about 2 hours. They said the priority queue was about 45 minutes.
Okay.
So I said, well, do I have to stand there? Like, no, anyone in your party can stand in the line, you can come back.
Okay.
So
Oh, that's
Brian,
good.
which was really nice. So I was like,
Yeah.
so Brian could stand in the queue for me, so I didn't have to stand for that long.
Yeah.
And then I came back when he texted me when he was near the top, and we kind of joined
That's
in.
brilliant.
So it's still great. It's much shorter.
Yeah.
But you still have to wait in the queue.
Disney
you can't.
are very good at adapting to
They
your
are,
needs.
yeah.
I think that's like any experience I've had with them. I haven't thankfully needed any of those kind of services really, but
They are very
like they're just so good because they want you to have a good time. So like I always say, cast members are the magic of the park. That
course.
like they're gonna try and help you. They'll do what they can. If there's nothing they can do for you, there's nothing they can do for you, and unfortunately, that's just the way it is. But if there is anything they can do to make your day easier, they're gonna do it. So like look into the services that are available if you're concerned about that kind of thing. There's obviously also like a lot of rides will have test seats. So if you're unsure about like your body shape in a particular ride, you can see if you're gonna be able to fit comfortably in the seat before you have to stand in the line
for an hour and
and then even it could be so embarrassing as well if you're there and you're getting in and you realize you're struggling and you're holding everybody up, and that's not a situation anybody wants to be in. So like they really do take so many measures to try and accommodate all different needs, which is Terrific. I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah.
And this is for everybody, not just people who have priority disabilities or anything like that. In the Marvel campus, to visit the training center where you get to meet all the Avengers or Spider-Man, they have virtual queues.
Yes.
So I was like, I've never experienced before, because the last time I was in Florida, it was decades
Not at
ago.
all.
Didn't have, as you just queue normally.
Everywhere now.
You just queue normally. But so that was the first time I've seen it in Paris, which was really, really nice. So it's like certain times of the day it opens up, you just join them. So we met two of the Avengers, and we just came back whenever the time they told us to.
It's like having an appointment, really.
Yeah, it was really nice. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about whichever sidekicks and or villains you met.
Okay, well, sidekicks. Let's start with some sidekicks. We met
The Wasp.
the Wasp.
Oh.
Yes, that was so
fun.
There's a display area where they take photos with characters in the Avengers campus, and typically they seem to have Ant-Man or the Wasp. But who did we see? We saw Captain America. He was there for a while as well. But the time we went there, specifically there was the Wasp, so we were able to get a photo with her.
Yeah.
Nice.
Genie from Aladdin. He'd be a good sidekick. Yeah, we met him.
Good character meet. Like, what's the personality like?
Yeah,
of Genie?
very good. Yeah, really
playful,
really playful. Kind of ran up to us as soon as we got there and stuff like that. So it was great. It was really good.
Well, Genie can't talk in the costume.
Yes, obviously.
So it is very,
Genie
very physical.
is a fur character.
Yeah.
Fur characters are not allowed to speak to you. So it's all
But the,
hands, legs, postures.
yeah, but the Wasp, on the other hand, whereas she is wearing the helmet, she
She's a
is able
face
to talk,
character.
and she can talk to you.
Oh, she was
and the thing
lovely.
is the whole thing is I guess for all the Avengers characters, because they are a physical person, they need to be multilingual. So
Yes, actually, that is a terrific point in France, and I'm going to presume the Asian parks as well. But as I say, I'm not very clued in on that side at all. In France, they do like you to be able to speak both French and English if you're going to be a character there.
at a minimum.
Yes, because you will have Europe is obviously like so. Not small, like Europe is big.
Multicultural.
Multicultural. There's so many divisions of countries and so many languages spoken at any one time. Obviously, you'll get that in other parts of the world as well, but I think just it's so concentrated in France, being like bang in the center of Europe as well.
Yeah.
So they were two. I think we've definitely met other sidekicks. We met Tigger and Eeyore. So they're like obviously Winnie the Pooh sidekicks.
Were they together or were they separate?
They were together. We did a character breakfast.
Fantastic.
So yes,
Love
so
it.
they were there together. Like,
Brilliant.
well, actually, it was like because they split the room in two sides. So we had three on one side and three on the other side. So we had Tigger, Geppetto, and Pinocchio on one side, and then we had Eeyore, Goofy, and Pluto. And then we swapped. So Eeyore and Tigger were never together, but they were there at the same area, if that makes sense. And then, so villains. Well, our biggest villain we met was probably Darth Vader.
Yeah.
A very big villain.
Very big villain.
And I was actually unaware that Darth Vader was now being displayed in the park.
Oh,
Yes.
really?
Yeah, so for me it was a real proper surprise because
Yeah.
when Emily said, "Oh, they have the Mandalorian," I didn't even realize that they were going to be having any Star Wars characters there. But clearly, if they've got Hyperspace Mountain and they got the Star Tours, that there's a whole part of the park that I think needs to be developed.
Probably, yeah.
Like there seemed to be loads of space over there, nobody going over to that corner, and there wasn't even that big a
I've heard
queue.
that about the American parks as well with Darth Vader. I feel like he's just one of those characters that you're just not really aware is around.
But I've seen the videos and the videos and clips where it shows Darth Vader coming out to greet the crowd, intimidating, and it's got like several stormtroopers and even some kids kind of come up and they get a photo with him and they've got a lightsaber. But I just hadn't seen any of that element even hinted at Paris. But clearly it's a whole thing that they're starting to make available.
I've seen some people meet him and just be so like nervous interacting with him. Was it that kind of experience that he's just that?
He is very intimidating. Like we were like waiting outside because it's kind of like it's not an open area. It's like inside a room. So we're waiting outside the room, and then like he literally just arrives at the door, and he's like, we're like, oh hello, and he's just like, come in, and we're like, oh. So yeah, it is a little bit intimidating, and like Brian was trying to mess at one point, and he kind of just looked at him. And he was just, they were like, even with the mask, there was a death stare. Like, it was like, okay. And I was like, Brian, stop annoying him. I was like, pretty much, yeah. He just looked at him and was like, stop. And I was like, okay.
Oh, that's so good.
We got a photo that was, I'm going to say, a force push. But I thought at first we were actually doing the chokehold. And when I started doing the chokehold, somebody told me, no, don't do a chokehold. They're not
No
keeping
violence in Disney.
Yeah, so you can look down.
Intimidation only.
Yeah.
So yeah, but he was very good, and obviously all his stuff is probably pre-recorded, but they must have a lot of stuff pre-recorded because you're able to talk to him and interact with them.
I think some of it is actually just a voice changer.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think
Okay.
the Stormtroopers have pre-recordings.
Okay.
But I think there's a lot of voice changing work going on in there. Because it would be really hard to control.
Yes, because that's what I was.
They would say, because where would the control panel be?
Yeah.
Do you know?
That's a good point.
Because your hands are in costume.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have an answer to that. So I could see for the Mandalorian on his left hand, in the palm of his hand, I think he touches certain fingers together to activate certain points that actually gives certain things that he can say. And then with his other hand, he was reaching back behind him into a kind of I suppose, a control button that's on his belt, because he had the child Grogu with him, and he pressed buttons, and of course if your attention's drawn to the child, you don't notice that he's actually operating an animatronic.
Yeah.
It's like Puppet doesn't do it justice.
No, it's
No, animatronic I
Yeah.
feel is definitely the best. Actually, that was a technology invented by Disney as well.
There you go.
Yeah. No, the animatronics that came for the Disney stuff, I think there was the Hall of Presidents.
Yeah, Lincoln.
So in theory, they had quite simple stuff where it's start off with the mouth moving and go like, oh well, if we're going to go to that trouble, let's have it so that he can turn to the audience and moves his hands up and down. And then obviously, suddenly they went with Lincoln, and then they're going with Washington, and then they do a few other presidents, so that they have a whole kind of sit-down show where they don't actually have to pay any performers. But again, if you have to pay performers, they need to look exactly like the presidents, and they go like, that's going to be almost impossible to find. So it's just it opened up the door that they were able to use those animatronics there, but then that dominoed out into, I think, the Imagineers who created that, I think, went on to then work with some of the Henson productions. So when they started getting into the Muppets, and kind of that probably leads to later in time where there was supposed to be a merger of Henson with Disney, where they were going to be buying out the Muppets, and unfortunately Jim Henson passed away, and the deal fell through.
We had a chat about this in the car one night.
Yeah.
Are you as into the Muppets as we are?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, I do like them, but
I'm huge. I'm much more into the Muppets.
Yeah.
And they finally have been brought into the fold with all the stuff that they're doing at the moment.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God, because they need somebody to advocate for them.
Yes.
They'd be gone. Their next task was to get a selfie with each of the official Disney princesses. So I'll put a list on screen of who exactly those official Disney princesses are at time of filming. And what I said to them was, obviously it's going to be very difficult to meet them all as characters. Even if they were all available to meet, that would just take up so much time, and maybe they just didn't want to spend their time that way, and that's fine.
But you might not be able to be guaranteed to meet them.
Yeah, there's
Because they might
very
be
few
on,
available. So what I said was, get creative. Take your selfies with them as characters if you want. Take your selfies with artwork of them, merch of them, costumes of them, food of them.
Because it's quite the list.
Because it is a big list. So let's kick it off. Let's go in order.
Go first,
Time. So let's start with your Snow White meet. Tell us.
So we did that in person. We met her at the Princess Pavilion, so that was very, very exciting.
Yeah.
So yes,
I met her there too, and I cried in her face because I was so starstruck and she did not know what to do. It was so cute. She was like, "Are you okay? Oh my gosh, are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm fine. This is you."
I had that response with Aurora, because Aurora is my favourite Disney princess, and I also met her in person.
Hence the ears.
Oh yes.
And yes, I cried in Aurora's face, and she was just like, "Oh, it's okay. Are you all right?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not. It's not. My whole childhood is coming up right now." So yeah,
It's amazing the emotions it can bring forth.
yeah. I did not really expect that. I thought I'd be cool and calm as a cucumber, but no, blubbering mess.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got there.
So you met Snow White and you met Aurora
In person, yes.
So we jumped over Cinderella. So tell us how you got a photo with Cinderella.
I found a lovely Cinderella pin. So as I
Beautiful.
said, Disney have lovely pins. So yes, there you go. So I have a nice little selfie with me and my Cinderella pin.
You have a face-to-face niche, you have a pin,
Yeah.
you have a face-to-face niche, and then we're on to Ariel.
Ariel, I found a little teddy doll of Ariel, so I got a nice photo with that.
Little plush.
Little plush, yes,
with the big eyes.
Yes, very nice.
And then Belle.
Oh, I found a lollipop with Belle on it, so I took a photo with me and the lollipop.
Yum. Don't ever buy those lollipops, they're a waste.
They're too big. Once you've opened them, you can't. Where are you gonna put them?
Yeah, exactly.
and
Sticky
they were-
mess.
Sticky mess, and like the flavors aren't super strong. So yeah.
No, they're awful.
But they look
Have you
cool.
ever had one?
I have, and I probably am more lenient.
You're on the other
having
side
them.
of the circle.
No, I wouldn't say fully that they're amazing, but the thing is that if it's about that big. So the thing is, you really, once you open it, you need to be prepared that you have to eat the whole thing, or you're just going to have to dump some of it. But it can be a kind of handy standing in a queue. I need a snack, and I'm going to be standing for
Even
another
just
half an
something
hour.
to occupy you.
Yeah.
Like in
guess
the
if you
same
go-
way that you might get a coffee or
Yeah.
have a cigarette if you're a smoker. Obviously, you can't do that in the parks.
No.
But like in that
Yeah.
same way that you kind of just need an activity.
Yeah.
That yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll give them their flowers for that. Next princess, we have Jasmine.
Jasmine, I found this very nice figure in actually one of the stores in the Disney Village, so not in the park, so it was in
Beautiful.
the Disney Village.
Yeah.
So there's a shop that has lots of different figurines, so I found a lovely figurine of Jasmine.
There's
so I
always
just-
like a fancy
Yeah,
shop
the
in
fancy
there
shop,
with like
yeah.
a nice home decor and stuff. Yeah.
So I have a lovely picture of her, my figurine of Jasmine.
Beautiful. Was she
Yeah.
beige?
Right that big, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And she was how expensive?
I actually didn't check the price.
Okay.
I should have, but I'd
Yeah.
say I'm gonna
It
go
was
with
gonna be
somewhere.
Some of them can be very pricey.
Probably somewhere around the hundreds, I'd
Yeah,
say.
some of
you
those
know.
figurines
Yeah,
can
I
really,
didn't
like-
even look because I didn't want to tempt myself.
I know,
So,
yeah. You start
I was like-
immediately talking yourself into it.
Yeah,
no matter
so you're
what
like,
the
it's
price
fine,
is.
it's really good.
Yeah,
And you're
it's
like,
like
no.
€500. I can swing that.
fine,
It's
it's
fine. That's
on-
less than the mortgage. It's grand.
Yeah, so didn't check, but I'm gonna go with somewhere in the hundreds. Probably.
yeah. Definitely triple figures.
Yeah.
So Pocahontas.
This was really hard. I
Yeah.
could not find Pocahontas anywhere in the Disney parks. So I found a keyring of Pocahontas in the World of Disney store in the Disney Village.
Brilliant.
So that is the only place I found.
I don't know that I did specify or not, but like it was. You could go Disney Village,
Yeah.
resorts,
Ah,
whatever.
it's all you're all in one place.
Explore,
So yes.
like
So,
yeah. It's, you're not going to lose points if it's not
Perfect.
in the
Okay.
park.
Yeah.
But see, to me, World of Disney has all the merchandise that's already in the park anyway.
It usually does, yeah.
But
yeah.
I do wonder whether it's if had they finished selling it in the park and then there's very little left, whether they say, all right, we don't have enough shelf space for enough of this, that we move them out into the you know, so it's
because it is a much bigger facility.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a much bigger store.
Yeah, definitely. And then like I think when you go into the souvenir shops that are around the parks, you often go in looking for something specific.
You do. Yeah.
You know, if you're in a particular
Area,
land or
yeah.
whatever, you're like, I want to go in for this thing because it's probably in this shop, even though a lot of the merch is the same regardless. And then we have Mulan.
Mulan, I found another statue of Mulan. It wasn't as fancy as like the Jasmine figurine, but it was a similar figure, but I think it was a little more affordable.
You were
So
able to actually touch
I
that
touched
one,
it. It
so
wasn't in
that's-
it wasn't in a glass case
Yeah.
like my Jasmine one, so I was holding it, so I'm assuming it wasn't as breakable. I think it was probably more was it plastic or probably wasn't porcelain?
I don't know. I don't think it was
I'd
porcelain.
imagine it'd be plastic because I'd say in a high traffic area.
Yeah, they
put
wouldn't
anything
that breakable. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
a plastic figurine of Mulan. So yes.
Beautiful.
Next princess.
Tiana, my favorite.
Tiana, I found a little Tiana dress for
It was very
kids, and it had her face on it, so I was holding that up with that. So that's where I found Tiana. So.
Beautiful. What was the biggest size available?
Oh, I think it went stopped at like 10. I was like, I'm never gonna fit into that.
We'll stretch it out.
Yeah, I actually
Add some
had to
panels,
buy
it'll be fine.
multiple and
Yeah.
cut it to pieces, and
Put it together. There we go. Why didn't I think of that? Next time.
this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Rapunzel.
Rapunzel. I found a plush of Rapunzel, so very similar to the Ariel plush, but I found one of
Very cute.
Rapunzel, so I took one of hers.
Yeah.
Very cute. Merida, another
So
favourite of mine.
I found a bow and arrow that was from Merida and has a picture of her on it, so I took a photo with that.
Lovely little toy set.
Yeah, really loved
Again,
it.
quite small, probably not.
Yeah, not for
It's
enough.
probably about
Big enough,
that
like-
tall. It's
It
for it's 7 to 10-year-olds. It probably would be quite good.
And it wouldn't look ridiculous on adult, I'd say.
It's probably a lot easier than actually like the real full size ones.
Yeah,
Have
probably.
either of you ever tried?
No, never done archery, no.
Really hard.
It's tricky.
It's really, really hard. They make it look so easy, but it's so heavy and it's huge. And yeah, maybe we all just need a nice little kids
one,
plastic
yeah.
toy, and we'll practice. Moana.
I found a Moana dress, another Moana dress, so
Fabulous.
we have one.
Fabulous.
Yes.
A nice two-piece.
Yes.
Yes. Moana's getting a sequel this year. Do we know about that?
I saw the trailer yesterday. Oh, sorry, a teaser yesterday.
They,
I thought it was fake at first.
They only fully came out with it. Yeah, it's a
Very
surprise. It's
exciting.
coming out like the end of this year.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
And Rhea, you said you had to
Okay, so the night before we went to the park, we were staying in accommodation, an Airbnb nearby, and we decided to put on Disney because it was on the TV in the Airbnb, and then we actually put on Raya. So we watched Raya.
Nice.
I watched it because everybody else fell asleep. And then we went into the park to find Raya. Almost, I'm going to say, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I couldn't find her anywhere. I tried on both the parks and shops around, could not find her.
Such a shame.
Yeah, I think maybe she just knew, like, because even, like I said, I have a photo of me with, like, a box of all the princess figures. So, but she wasn't even in that. So I think maybe she's just relatively new, and it's just, maybe it's not, I don't know if it didn't do as well.
Is it something to do with the time that it was actually released?
Yeah.
It was in that weird in-between time.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I love it. I actually think it's a great movie. I was really surprised by how much I liked it. But yeah, that's
There you go.
disappointing.
Just a bonus one. It wasn't on my list of not fish princesses, but I got a photo with an Anna and Elsa doll as well.
I'm glad you brought those
Yeah.
up because I was just about to explain why they are not featured on that list, and that is because they are not considered official Disney princesses. They can sell them way better by themselves as merch than having to group them in with princesses.
Yes.
So it is largely down to popularity, but then there's also a few technical details like Elsa being the queen and whatever there. But yeah, they are just so popular because actually the reason that the princesses as a group exists is again merchandising, because they realized if they started grouping a few of them together and marketing this idea of the Disney princesses, they were going to be able to sell so much more merch. But they don't even need to do that with Anna and Elsa. So
And you're missing two more princesses. You have got Princess Leia, who's a princess, and you've got Vanellope von Sweets from Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
And if you watch Wreck-It Ralph 2, she meets all the Disney princesses, and she even says how she's a princess.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't think it's just the same type of princess, that's all.
Yeah, I actually have a whole list of like non-princesses that I wrote a little post about. I can link it below because it's not very widespread. But basically, yeah, there's a whole list of great princesses that aren't considered
The official
Disney princesses. Princess Leia is one of them. She is an acquired princess because she was initiated outside of the Disney company.
Yeah. And her planet was destroyed, so she's a princess of nothing now.
Oh, why'd you have to make it dark?
And wait, you go to Anna and Elsa, well, one becomes the queen, so she's no longer a princess, and the other one seems to, I haven't seen the second film, but I'm going to say she marries a commoner, so she could actually lose her princess title because she didn't marry into other royalty.
How that works.
I'm just saying, sometimes it does.
Anyway, we're on a tangent here.
Hang on. No, this is a double standard because what about all of the common-born women who become princesses by marriage?
So there you go.
Oh, no, like, it's actually, the prince would lose his princedom if he marries outside of
there's a lot of princesses that technically actually their title would not be princess, but we're getting into
Anyway, we're going down a rabbit hole
We're
here
being
now.
pedantic here.
Let's bring it back.
Unless you want to call them a consort, I mean, that's the official title.
There's a lot of duchesses in there. Yeah. Even like Anastasia is now an acquired princess.
Okay.
But she's duchess.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can have the Disney princesses. Are there a list of Disney duchesses?
Let's make one. Let's research royal and monarchy and just figure out exactly what's what.
Yeah.
Brian's giving me the time signal. Another fantastic little hidden detail that I sent you on the hunt for, which I don't think either of you were familiar with, is to see the view that the Queen of Hearts would have. So why don't you elaborate and tell us how you would find that?
Well, so we assumed, obviously, Queen of Hearts.
Alice in Wonderland.
So there's an Alice in Wonderland labyrinth. So we're like, it must be in there. And when you get to the middle of the labyrinth, there is a castle. And
it's not always open.
Not always open. So I think other times you've been there, we didn't know you could go into it, but it was open this time. So we're like, oh, this must be it's her castle. So this must be her view. Which way? That way, up, down, this way.
Well, this way and that way.
So yes, we went through the labyrinth, and Brian got us a little lost in the labyrinth, but that's a different story for a different day. And then we got to
Not
this.
lost.
Turned around.
So then we got up to the top of the castle, and we got a lovely view of the park from up there. It's very, very
It's a
nice.
fabulous view, isn't it?
Fabulous view.
You're only like, what, maybe 2 or 3 stories
Yeah.
up? And you just have this gorgeous panning view over Fantasyland.
It's great.
Yeah.
Brilliant. It's definitely like, again, one of those, you don't need a ride, you don't need to queue, you know, just, it's a walk.
And there was actually loads of people inside there.
Yeah.
It was never actually that crazy busy that you were bunched up or queued up with
Yeah.
anybody. And
I find
there's-
that with the walkthroughs that
Yeah.
like it's a nice flow.
They kind of stagger people. They don't kind of let
And everyone's kind of conscious as well
Yeah.
of each other, which is
Yeah.
great. It's kind of a weird moment where everyone just becomes really conscious of the people around them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice.
It's like, yeah, we're not
So,
going
yeah,
to
so-
hog this space. We're going to move on, and yeah. So you liked it?
We liked it, yes.
And there's also audio stuff that happens inside that maybe people aren't listening for or aware of. But the Queen of Hearts would have her catchphrases and bits and pieces, and they were in French. So maybe I didn't
fun.
hear them in English, but I did hear them in
Right.
French as we were passing. And I'm guessing there's a censor, but obviously the Queen was saying in French off with her
Their
head.
heads.
And I think she's actually
What is
supposed
it
to
in
pop up.
French? You're a French speaker.
I am a French speaker, but I can't remember exact phrasing of exactly what she said.
Oh,
But
you're useless. You have one job, Brian. Be the French speaker.
I'm leaving that in. That is staying in the video. Oh, poor Brian.
He's not actually useless.
No, Brian is actually very
He's
useful.
great. He's
a
very
great person to have
useful.
around.
Yeah.
I am. I mean, I am.
A little piece of trivia about Disney parks is in every castle park around the world, so that's your traditional, like your Magic Kingdom kind of park, there is a Dumbo ride. It is that popular that it has been copied to every park in the world. So that was your clue to fly with the elephant found in every park. And I actually think the one in Paris is the most beautiful.
Yeah.
It's such a gorgeous setting.
So, yeah.
And did you say you hadn't ridden Dumbo before?
I had once, but it was a while ago. So I hadn't done it the last 2 times I've been in Paris. I hadn't gone on it because usually there's a bit of a wait, and you're like, do I wait for this one or do I go on something else? And you know me, I'm tend to run for the roller coasters.
Yeah.
So
And it does tend to be a long wait.
It is a long wait.
Like,
It's very
but
popular.
it's so popular.
It's a popular.
It was your first Dumbo ride, wasn't it?
You didn't go on it.
I didn't go.
Oh, you didn't go on it.
He was waiting in line at the Christmas Pavilion for me when I went on Dumbo.
But I was going to say, I think I have been on a Dumbo ride,
Okay. We went
which
in
was
Tokyo.
in Tokyo.
Yeah, we
but
definitely
I
went
had
to the one in
been-
Tokyo.
I don't think I've been on the one in Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely stunning. Like it's on this lovely raised waterfall little platform. It's I love it. I got so sunburnt there one year though because there's very little cover.
There is no cover. You're
There's
standing
no cover, and
out.
I was there in the summer, and
Yeah.
I was just there for like an hour.
Yeah, so we did that. That was
It's a really fun ride.
It's
Isn't
a lovely
it?
fun ride. So yeah,
Like it's so satisfying.
yeah,
It's
it
so
is.
simple and straightforward.
You
You
can
just
go up and
in,
down.
and you go up and down, and you're going around, and it's not too
You get nice
fast.
views as well when you're up high as well.
Lovely views,
Lovely views.
yes, and the music as well. It's like a little kind of Dumbo circusy music. Oh,
So yeah,
beautiful.
so
ride.
we'll recommend.
Yes, there's a reason it's in every park, I think. Yeah,
There you go.
definitely. Let's move on to your 10 hidden Mickeys.
Oh wow.
So I'll just give a brief instruction of what a hidden Mickey actually is in case anyone doesn't know. Disney is famous for putting the just basic 3-circle shape of the Mickey head outline hidden everywhere. In the parks, in its movies, so many things. In the rides itself as well, like in the Mickey and Minnie ride in Hollywood Studios, there's a Bubbles scene and there's loads of them are actually just hidden Mickeys, which is very satisfying to me. So I asked you to find 10.
First one, ooh, what's it?
The railing.
Oh yeah. So we were on our way walking from a hotel. We stayed in the Sequoia Lodge and we were walking towards the main Disney park. And on a railing, as we were going by, there was a little Mickey Mouse head. There was a circle with 2 little circles. That was the first one we found.
There's
Yeah.
something so nice about the Mickeys and the ironwork.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
no idea. So
Isn't it so Disney?
that was the first one we found. Yeah.
Brian, number 2.
In the Queen of Hearts castle, if you're looking up the castle, you'll actually see they've kind of got the stonework where you can it's a straightforward tower, but then they'll have the odd circular kind of stone that comes out, but then you realise there's a set of 3 that make up a Disney Mickey Mouse.
Love it.
We were walking past, it was near Dumbo. Okay. There was like the buggy park or something.
Yes, brilliant.
And then under the buggy symbol there was a little Mickey Mouse symbol.
Cute,
so yeah, that was another one we found.
Yeah, some of them aren't actually that hidden, they're just there.
Just very obvious, So we're like, oh, there's one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That counts.
So Disney Studios, at the entrance to the park, what you don't realise is that when you arrive in the morning, the gates are open. But in the evening, as they close them, when the 2 gates close, they actually form a Mickey Mouse head.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And there's the one with Mickey out of camera as well, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
Yeah. Love it.
This one I thought was very fun. This is probably not an official hidden Mickey at all, but we were...
There's no such thing. You can decide for yourself.
Okay, well, I don't think Disney put it there. This is probably a man-made one accidentally. So we were waiting outside the Princess Pavilion, and I looked up into it. Well, actually, the friend who was with us looked up into a tree, and the way the bird's nest was, there was like 1 and 2 smaller ones, and she was like, "That's a Mickey Mouse."
I love it.
I know. So there,
that counts.
That definitely counts.
That's canon.
So there you go.
Oh my god, that's so. It's because I mean, it is sort of a like they do definitely put them in.
Yeah.
But then part of the fun is actually just like, is that one?
Is
Does
that
it
Mickey
count?
Mouse shape?
Does it
Yeah.
just activates it?
So I think that definitely was
that
one.
counts.
So there you go.
I'm counting that. That's beautiful.
So the World of Disney shop, if you go into it, if you look up, there's features on the ceiling. And I'm going to say there was, I'd say, at least 3 different types of Mickey Mouse heads that you can see up there.
Okay.
Some of them was in the cornicing, some of them was on a print that even in the stars that are up in kind of as a constellation in the sky.
Cute.
And then there was another one that was on the columns inside there as well.
Beautiful.
Are
you counting that as 3? You can't.
Well, there was 3 there, but we found more than 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
Keep going, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's Small World.
Very nice.
Yeah, so there's on the outside of it, there's like kind of cogs pieces, and there's 3 of them that are in the space of a shape of Mickey Mouse head. So yeah, so that's another one there.
I love that one in Paris as well.
Yeah.
Paris has some absolutely incredible versions of the rides. Like the Space Mountain in Paris is the best one, and it's all steampunky and actually is it very Star Warsy now because I haven't been since they like
Not
redeemed
yet.
it.
No, it is a little bit, but it's still got the whole
yeah.
kind of steampunk vibes as well.
Amazing.
So yeah.
Amazing.
Which is not steampunk, it's Jules Verne.
They've galleys.
Because it always designed around Jules Verne. Because even the Nostromo, which is from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, is part
the Nautilus.
inside the Nautilus.
The Nautilus. No, I will agree that yes, it is Jules Verne, but
It's
to the
steampunk
untrained
style.
eye,
It's before
it's
steampunk existed. Another hidden Mickey Mouse is we were getting food over in Frontierland, and there was a menu board on the wall, and if you looked quite closely as they switched, you'd find that there was actually little hidden Mickey Mouses with part of the menu on it. But you'd really have to be paying attention and looking for these. And then
Can you miss it?
Yeah, blinking you miss it. And then the last one I think we found was over by Winnie the Pooh. There is a kind of a railing along the ground and kind of a balustrading, if you will, beside the stairs. And all of a sudden there's these tiny little, all these little Mickey Mouse kind of features on the banisters and stuff like that. So it was quite good.
Oh my god, I love
I also
it.
remember Winnie the Pooh there, so that was very exciting.
Oh.
I know. Yeah.
Also, I'm counting this one as a hidden Mickey as well.
Woohoo!
My sparkly little ring. I love it.
yeah.
I've been messing with it this whole time. That's what I'm doing. If
Fabulous.
you're seeing me mess with my hands, I'm messing with my hidden Mickeys. You child.
Sorry.
I sent you into Davy Jones's locker, which is a place you can go. And I want you to tell me all about it because I've never been.
Okay, well, so I wasn't 100% sure where it was, but I assumed it was somewhere near the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Yes.
Because I was like, I didn't think it was on the ride because you had told me that like a lot of them aren't actually on rides and that one isn't 100% pregnancy safe. So you were like, I'm not going to send you anything you're not meant to be going on. So I was like, it's got to be around here. And then I was looking at the maps and there's like a beach area. So I was like, maybe it's in there.
And a broken pirate ship.
Yeah, so it's a broken down pirate ship.
Like a shipwreck.
Yeah, kind of like a shipwreck. So we kind of wandered over that way, and I said we were coming under, and there was like, what would you call it?
An arch?
An arch, yeah, with rocks.
Caves. So there was caves.
There's caves.
Ryan, get out of here
and
with
the
your
entrance
fancy words.
to the caves.
At the edge of the caves, we walked in, and then as we come up, we literally see a sign on the left saying Davy Jones' locker down, and we're like, oh, we found it! Hello. So we're on the hunt for Davy Jones' locker. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere around here in the Pirate Beach, so we're gonna go and see if we can find it.
Arr. Sailing on a ship, you see.
I was right, there's a sign for it, so...
There you go, wait.
Okay, please not myself.
But it also leads you into kind of more of a warren of
Yes.
passages and tunnels. So it's not as straightforward to kind of like you just walk straight
Straight
down
down, you
the passage
find it,
and
you
you're
have
in.
to-
You
yeah.
actually have
Like,
to
get
find your way into
lost.
it.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that's underrated, where if you were a couple of teenagers who were over there and you kind of want to have a kind of game of chasing around there, it wasn't too busy.
You're not allowed to run in
In
Disney
Disneyland.
parks.
Done. Would you want to endorse this?
Hide and seek.
You don't play hide and seek in the park.
I was
It
concerned where
actually-
you were going with the
Yeah, me
teenagers thing.
too. I was like,
Ryan.
You're sacrificing a person to the gods. No, but it's just there was whole loads of spaces, and it led you out into kind of water features, little beach areas,
Beautiful.
up into the trees, and it's quite close to the Robinson Crusoe kind of treehouse island.
Very
so
nice.
it's different from that, because that's a treehouse and it's all walkways and bits and pieces, and probably
Kind
more
of
kid
open
safe
and-
and, and open air.
Yeah.
But this was much more of a treasure island, pirates.
Yeah, nice.
You know, if you were
Sinister kind of.
yeah.
When you
there's
are
a-
down in, like, walking around underground, you do get to a part where there's, like, a big treasure chest. So that
Brilliant.
is probably...
Isn't that like a face in the rockwork as well?
Oh, I never found that.
Okay, I think it might be a perspective thing.
Okay.
I might be wrong. I
It's
don't
also
know.
very dark down there, so it is
Yeah,
quite hard to see
fair.
the things. But yes,
Fair.
we did get to a treasure chest with a skeleton, so we're like, this must be the
Amazing.
actual...
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. of.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
Yeah.
very
No,
cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a...
Yeah, there
Yeah.
probably is, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Disneyland Paris actually has like a whole kind of pirate area. Like it's not an official land, but it's
very
they've
cool.
got Skull Rock from Peter Pan, which
Yeah.
is stunning. And like that Davy Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean, like they're really leaning into the pirates idea there. It's great.
But I think there's a whole thing where they don't promote it enough in the
No.
park.
No, they
And
really
it's just kind
don't.
of like you guys are missing out. But again, it probably makes more sense to go in the summer as well, or better weather in spring and autumn.
Yeah.
Because in January it's cold.
You probably don't want to do the outside stuff as
No.
much. Yeah,
Not as much.
yeah. France gets cold. Last thing. Actually, well, except for the surprise one you were going to throw in at the end. The last one I assigned you was to get your Space Ranger wings on and fly to infinity and beyond. This one was so cryptic. This was probably like one of the more cryptic ones with the golden snails as well.
Yeah, it was.
So it's actually not that cryptic in real life. It's really just a photo op.
It is
Yeah.
a photo op. So if you're in the Walt Disney Studio Parks, if you're going to Playland, where all the kind of Toy Story themed rides are, and then you kind of walk through it, and you're heading to where the Cars ride is, which used to be like the was it the movie tour bus?
Hollywood
Studios
okay.
tour bus, and they've
Right,
rebranded
yeah.
as Cars ride, which is really cool. So you get to drive around and see lots of different things.
Oh, nice.
So if you're heading towards that, which is at the back of the studio park, there is like this big gate, and they painted the Buzz Lightyear wings on it, and it has To Infinity and Beyond. So you can just stand at it, and behind you, you have your space wings.
Very cute.
It is very, very,
very
cute.
cute.
Ratatouille. We make our way down. You see RC Racer in the background. What do we got down here? It's time for Buzz Lightyear.
And then on the other side, they have the claw coming down, so you can also get stand under the claw. So
Yeah, that's
we
your
got,
other
we got,
one.
we got that photo for you too.
Amazing. I kind of figured the Infinity and Beyond was the easier way to like
That-
give you a clue.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely. That's like that. I love those. Again, that's another thing in Disney parks there's so many just little places you can go and get these great photos.
Yes.
It's like top tier Instagram photos. And yeah, you just, if you don't know about them, you walk right past them.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people wouldn't go, like, you're only going to pass it if you're going to the cars right.
Yeah.
You're not going to pass it just walking around, so it is kind of a hidden thing that you don't know about unless you're kind of going that way.
Definitely. Actually, yeah, that's a great tip for Disney parks. Go off the beaten track.
Yeah. There's little stuff to be found, all these extra passageways and ways you walk around, and you could find a little cafe, a bistro, a
fun photo op.
They're around the place.
So many things. Even if it is literally just like a dead end cul-de-sac.
There's something
There should
there.
be something
There's
there.
something you can look at there. Like, go off the beaten track. Don't follow the crowd all the time, because you're going to miss out on so much. So your final one, I gave you sort of like a give me a surprise. Okay. So almost like a blank Scrabble tile. Do with it what you will. Go and do something fun and tell me what you did.
So we weren't really sure, so we kind of just let it develop as the 3 days went on. So what happened was we ended up meeting Goofy on the 3 separate days in 3 different costumes. So we thought that was a kind of a fun, random thing to do. So we met him on the first day in the studio parks, and he was Director Goofy. He was all dressed up in his director outfit, very, very good.
Like 1920s director with like the fluffy trousers.
Yeah,
oh
he
my
was.
God.
Yes, he was.
I love it.
Joggers.
Joggers,
Joggers.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mr. Fancy Words.
He's all the fancy words today, isn't he? Like, you know. Then we met him the next morning at the character breakfast, so he was just plain old regular Goofy.
Classic
you know,
Goofy.
classic Goofy. That was fine.
Not
And then
redone hobo Goofy like they have.
No.
I
Just
hate
the
that
regular Goofy.
90s Goofy is just perfection.
And he was there with Pluto, so we had lots of fun with the two of them. And then on our last day, we were over in Frontierland and we met a cowboy Goofy.
There is quite a bit of Wild West stuff going on in Paris,
It
actually.
is, yes, there is.
Yeah.
There used to be like a Wild West show. It's now where the Lion King show is, but before the Lion King was there was like a Wild West show in that.
And there's the Wild West Hotel as well.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, what was that one? The
Santa Fe.
Yeah. So,
And I also learned that Goofy isn't called Goofy in France.
Yes.
He's Dingo.
Yes, which is wrong.
Yes,
I don't care for that.
Because I couldn't understand, because when I got my time slot card for the first time meeting Goofy, it had Goofy/Dingo, and I was like, who's Dingo? Who am I meeting instead of Goofy?
No, because you'd think then, is it one of those things that it could be one or
the other? And I was like, is Dingo a sidekick I don't know about?
Yeah.
And then Brian Googled it, and there's actually no Goofy is Dingo in France. So that's, so it was...
Did it say why?
No, I don't.
know.
But the thing, the word Goofy means to be weird and kind of crazy in English, but it means nothing in French.
Okay.
Whereas Dingo is...
As in it means nothing, or it doesn't have a meaning.
But it doesn't have a meaning in French at all. Okay. So it's just a random sounding word, whereas in English it actually is a proper noun.
Yeah, it's
so,
onomatopoeic, isn't it? Isn't that?
Yeah.
But
is that right?
Sorry, I just thought of something now.
Yeah.
Like, obviously I had my autograph book, and every time Goofy signed my autographs, he signed it Goofy, didn't sign Dingo. So...
But again, if he knew you were an English speaker, he'd sign it in English.
Maybe, actually. You should have started
they're so smart.
You should have started speaking to French to see if you would have wrote Dingo instead.
Yeah.
Next time, we're going to try and catch him.
Yeah, brush up on your Duolingo.
There you go. We brought you something back from Disneyland Paris, so we thought we might get it on camera so you can have our reaction shot of it. So we got you 2 things.
2?
2 things, I know. So,
guys.
First thing, we got you...
No keyring. Oh, let me show you. Okay. Oh, there's so many bits to it. Okay, so Winnie the Pooh keyring. You got your little honey pot.
Sorry.
Winnie the Pooh. Eeyore. And Piglet. Winnie the Pooh is actually like one of my absolute favorite Disney.
I knew that. That's why I got it.
Yeah,
I got the same ones. We got now matching keyrings. I know. So very exciting. So
I'm so happy. Thank you.
And the other thing we got you another little gift.
So
this must be opened. So this can be more of a little bit of an unboxing.
Oh my God. I'm so excited. Thank you,
You're welcome, guys. Now.
Oh. Okay. I do it so carefully and gently. Build the suspense. Oh. Okay.
It's in another piece of paper. That's the parcel.
I got paper from Paris.
Oh.
Love it. I'm putting it on right now.
So where you can buy tiaras, they also had this kind of, I'm going to say princess-inspired headband.
Kind of a tiara.
So it's the whole thing of, you might not be able to wear... So you might not be able to wear the tiara out day to day, but you could wear this.
That I don't know.
I'm just gonna tear it.
Do something to tear it. If in doubt.
Oh my god, it's so pretty. I'm gonna wear it all day.
So yeah, so we got you the tiara-esque headband, so you can feel like a princess all day.
And I notice actually it's got little holes on it there, so you could probably, if you're giving it to a child, you could put like a ribbon or something through it to help keep it on their head.
Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go.
Oh, I love it.
Princess
all the
Fiona.
Sparkles.
Oh my god, I love it.
Princess Fiona? Really? You're gonna call her
They're
an
going to
ogre?
acquire her next.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, it's so pretty, guys. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you for sending us on all the missions. It was fun.
Thank you for offering. Yeah, it was such a great idea. I really genuinely didn't know when you texted me. I was like, I feel like this is an opportunity I should take, but...
Fun fact, she also texted me being like, did Brian ask you
Yes.
before he volunteered you?
So what happened was I randomly got a text from Brian being like, we're going to Disney Paris. Do you want us to like get content for you? And I was like,
No.
how? Like what?
Sure, yeah.
So I was thinking to myself, I was like, okay, firstly, very like generous offer. So yeah, really nice. But I mean, that's these two for you. They're lovely people. But I had no idea how I could put them to work for me. So I started trying to think, and eventually I came up with this idea. But I was like, this is also quite a bit of work. And this is going to be a bit of a time suck for you on your trip. So because Brian had said it to me directly, I was like, just want to make sure
So there's a big,
you're aware of this,
just
right?
got a text like, hey, just want to check Brian has cleared this with you that it's okay. I was like, oh yeah, I thought it was a great idea. But I just love it because, you know, he just tends to go off on his own mission sometimes.
I mean, it's for the greater good.
It
Like
is,
we've
it
got
is.
this amazing project now. So thank you both.
No worries at all. It was
Great
pleasure.
doing business with you.
Pleasure.
Great doing
Great
business with
yeah.
you. And we'll have to have you back.
Yes, definitely.
And I'll make sure you guys both thumbs up the video. And subscribe if you're not already, because we have a lot of fun here. And I am a screwball on camera, so if you're interested in that kind of thing, subscribe, hang out, come join me. Leave a comment, say hello, or tell us something about Disneyland Paris. Drop your fun facts. Tell us something you might like to do out of this list. Literally just chat away to me about this video. As you can see, I have plenty of fuel to do that. So thanks so much for spending time with us today, and hopefully see you again soon with my next video. Bye! When you're in the park, it's fine. It's like, look at this.
Any
and
other
then you're in
place
your
in the-
bedroom, it's like,
yeah.
what am I doing?
Any other
What
place in
is
the world,
this?
you're like, why are these so big?
Yeah.
They look ridiculous. They're not proportioned to my head at
They're
all.
so disproportionate.
But in the park, you're like, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
So
They actually suit you.
they do actually suit you.
I think the beard helps with the proportions. Ah, yes, brilliant. I was gonna ask.
It starts to drop depending on how much tea you drink.
Love it. Color changing mug.
Yeah.
So it's the Baymax pain scale, and it goes all the way up to here when it's full.
And as you
then
drink your tea,
it goes down.
you feel better and it goes down.
Isn't it beautiful?
I think we've gone the wrong way.
So long, suckers.